Hey, what's going on? Today I want to tell you about the smoke machine that I made. I wanted to make another one. I used to have one when I worked on cars. When I got into being a golf course equipment manager, I stupidly sold it on eBay because I thought I'd never need it again, and I got like $400 for it. I paid $8, I think, when I bought it. So even at $400, they're quite expensive. So what I found is a lot of people are making them out of paint cans, and mostly a gallon paint can. I wanted something better. Because this, it's just cheap tin, and when you go to fill them back up and you open up the tops or change the wick eventually, it's not going to last. It's not going to hold up like a professional one. I wanted something more professional grade, so I found a lot of videos on YouTube, people making them, so I learned some of their tricks, and I just wanted to add my own 2 cents to it and my own style. So a couple things I did was I used a stainless steel thermos that I found at Walmart. And it's great because it's easy to fill it up with the fluids, and the wick, I did a different wick idea. It's standing up inside instead of going horizontally, it's vertically. And most people are doing it horizontally, I think, because it works good inside of a paint can. So I didn't even know if it would work or not, so I had to test it. And I made mine standing up. You're using this wire, this resistance wire. I'll show you what it is here. And that's the name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Every time I do, it sounds different. I think it was a conical wire. This is 20 gauge, so I measured off enough length, something like this. It gives me about how many ohms was it? 2 ohms, and when you divide it by 12 volts, you wind up with about 6 amps, which is about right without getting too hot or too cold for the wick, and just burn the fluid. And by the way, the fluid you want to use is mineral oil, baby oil. Never use anything that has a high flash point like gasoline. It'll explode. You burn yourself up and burn your house down or whatever. So just like I said, baby oil, mineral oil, that's what this is designed to operate with, nothing else. I don't think tiki oil it might work, but it'll stink like crazy. So anyway, that's the one modification I did, was the steel can. And the other thing I did was I added a removable power cord, because if you're working at one end of the vehicle, this is a real long, it's an extension cord, I think, off an old pump or something. So it's probably got a good 15-20 feet on it. And I could plug it in or fasten it down to the battery at one end of the car and work at the other end, and vice versa. So after this presentation, introduction presentation, I'll show a couple of little things I did just different than other people. I'm sure somebody's going to add to this, like this, what it's all about. Somebody says, hey, you know what, good idea, but I got a better idea, So I'm going to just fire it up for you real quick to show you. So I'm going down to the jump box on the floor, and I just turned on the, hooked it up. So it's beginning to smoke, and I got the cap off right now, so you can see it smoking. And now I'm going to cap it. Now see, again, if you had a paint can, you got to get out the hammer and tap it down and all that business. So move a little closer to the camera. Hopefully it's still visible. And I don't have much air on yet, but we have an adjustable air regulator. I think it's from a it's for a propane. It's a propane regulator, but it's adjustable. So the smoke's coming out. Started getting, it's pretty smoky right off the bat. And I'm using a pretty low pressure. I don't know, maybe it's about 1 pound going in there. But again, I like the fact that it's a good canister with a latching cap. It's not a cheap paint can. And if something malfunctioned and a lot of air pressure rushed in there, I'm pretty sure this could take, maybe like at least 20 pounds maybe, but you can see it's pretty smoky here. So it's working pretty well. That'll work just like the professional one that I bought and paid $800 for. That's probably close to 10 years ago when I did that. So again, people are making these on, and you'll find other videos on YouTube. This is just my own little twist on this one. So, and like at the end of this video, I think I'll just add a couple the key highlights with the wick and things like that. To constructing the whole smoke detector, smoke machine rather, you know, just watch other people's on YouTube. They're pretty much all the same, except for a couple people are burning. Instead of doing it this way, they're burning incense inside, which you would burn it inside, and the air pressure puts that smoke out from that. This is pretty much the way most people are doing it here. But I found a couple different types, so take a look, and you'll learn how to, you know, wrap the wire on the wick and suspend the wick and hook up your power cables, so I don't keep this video too long. Alrighty, and thank you for watching. Okay, so here's a wick test I'm making. Most of the smokers I've seen, the wicks are horizontally, and you know, they usually have one or two in the middle, maybe some legs coming down to pick up the mineral oil or baby oil, whatever you're using in there. You know, obviously don't use any kind of gasoline or anything that has a flash rate like that. It has to be a slow ignition oil, like, and really I know that there's no other two that anybody's using besides baby oil and mineral oil, so keep that in mind for your safety. But the wick here is going vertically, and we're going to test it now to see how you know, it's just in a soup can, and I got, you know, just some quick holes poked in it, insulated, and we're going to test it to see, you know, its ability, how it works, how it smokes. If the wick is pulling up the, I think you could see the inside. It's got the, I'm using baby oil right now. You know, we'll see how that wicks up and keeps, you know, burning. Now, I know the one I had that I bought, it timed itself out. Like when you were smoking something, you pressed a button and it started, and it didn't just burn for an hour. It gave a window of time, and I can't remember what it is. And I think that's probably to protect it from overheating and burning itself out. So I guess the same thing would be the case with one you make yourself. I don't think you would be able to keep it on for too long. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I can't remember how the length of time, but anyway, let's find out. Okay, so we got our power connected, and you can see it's smoking like immediately. And again, I think that wire is like canical wire, and there's another kind too. I forget the name that people use for these, but it's smoking good. I imagine that'll work pretty good inside the container, and you got the low pressure air going in and pushing it. I'll probably put the low pressure air in the bottom, and you know, the out hose towards the top, and you know, it's doing pretty good. I got a fan on in here, and hear it crackling a little bit, and it's quite a bit of smoke. So I don't know how much you'd even need to do your job. Maybe at this point you turn it off and you know, blow it into your engine and see how that works. I can't even see inside the bottom anymore. It looks like a witch's cauldron. So I'm going to turn it off and see what it looks like when the smoke clears, kind of say. But if I could mount this vertically inside the smoke tester, it'd be a lot easier than any other direction, because the size of the opening in the top of that stainless steel, I guess that's you know, a thermos. So you can see the smoke's dissipating now, and the wick looks like it's in pretty good shape. Doesn't look like it. Again, these are used wicks. They took out of something already, so they, you know, like the end here, the colorette's from actually where it was on fire in the tiki torch, and it looks good all the way down to the bottom. So I think I'm going to go with this design. I could always switch it if it's not working out. I'll just have the two holes in the container wherever I put them, and you know, I could always rearrange it. You know, this wire is very, very inexpensive, and I think I'm using 20 gauge, by the way. I think 20 gauge and you know, 20 ohms worth of length. You measure out your length with your ohm meter, this wire here, and you basically take your ohm meter and hook at the one end, start working your way along. It's just an exaggeration. It's obviously going to be much longer than that. But then you check your ohms, and nope, it's not right. Take a little more length. When you get it to where you want, cut it off and then double check it. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so before I go any further, I just want to show you what the inside looks like a little bit with the wick standing up. And again, we used our electrical terminals like I've seen other people do. Come through the side with a rubber grommet so they don't short out to the steel container, stainless steel container. And I think before I fire it up with electricity, I'll check it ohmically, make sure there's no shorts from either of these wires to the stainless steel. Then we're going to fill it with some fluid, put the air pressure on it and the smoke hose on it, and give it a shot. Okay, so real quick, I just tested it for shorts to the steel container. And I'm just going to test the element one time, just to get the make sure we got our ohms in, close to the range we want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, it's reading, and we got 2.2 ohms, which the target was 2, so we're good, and we're going to fire it up in a minute.